We're a biotech company. We make medicines to cure illnesses for cancer, things of that sort. So we use it for intelligent automation or robotic process automation. So we use it in finance, accounting, supply chain. We're actually using it across multiple functions in the company. I think the most valuable feature for Automation Anywhere is the fact that it enables novice developers to build bots and feel like they can contribute. The ease of use, I would say, is the key novel feature. Oh, I love it. So I force or at least encourage a lot of my staff to use it because it changes the game and the time it takes to build automations, right? So it's got a lot of reusable things you could use off the bat. So my impressions of the front office attendant automations is that it really changes the game from automations that don't have high value, can actually help people organically build automations. So it really helps change the game for making it more widespread use. It's much better than some of the earlier versions. I've actually trained people in finance that have not written a piece of code in their life, and they're able to pick it up. It is a learning curve, so it takes them some time, but it's definitely easy for them to use. I have some folks, a couple of them, that have actually not done any automation before, and now they're able to go back to their job. We used to build automations for their functions. Now they can actually understand what we built for them and actually help contribute to a certain extent for it. A number in accounting, I would say, finance, month-end close, eliminating profits, reconciliation, a lot of them are in that category. Some in HR and then some in operations. How do we really know what inventory we have to sell, things of that sort. So we measure ROI by a number of factors. I think hard savings from cost dollars, looking at the NPV over a number of years, looking at labor, what quality or control compliance things are we saving, and also productivity and employee satisfaction. So I think both. The more later versions you implement, the better they get. Any enterprise software has some of its gaps, but I think it's how quickly it's being addressed. And I think the latest versions are much, much better compared to what was there in the past. We have them implemented in a cloud-based environment. So cloud by itself allows you to scale, and as long as these softwares work there, it allows you to really scale. I would say roughly 3 to 6 months was the time frame. So we started some pilots, in some functions, and then we were really able to scale, learning from the lessons from pilots, right? That was a key. There's definitely some room there. It's kind of a hit and miss. You have some really, really good support engineers, and then you have some that are probably not consistent. I think consistency is the key. There's room to get consistent, and I think I give them that feedback because I think as you have more and more customers, the support becomes the key linchpin on which you can drive a customer away or get them to use it more. I would say integrator and consultant, a combination of them. We've had many different companies that are premium partners with Automation Anywhere. We're also focusing on building a COE internally, so we can do some of it ourselves. So combination of them. So we've had it for a long time. So I think as you go to cloud-based solutions, there are some nuances. It's less of the initial setup. It's more about when you already have a version, you migrate or you're upgrading. That's an area that we face some hiccups, but we were able to get across it. Yeah. I think a lot around API-based integration, like the ability for other systems to talk with AI better, right? Opening it up. I think voice-based stuff, chatbots, more in the journey of making it truly immersive from human workers working with these bots. So we've had this solution for quite some time. I think the last year we're really focusing on how we use it for the right purposes and processes. So I would say we've had fragmented solutions, and what we've decided is let's pick one player. So it was less about this being the last tool, we already had it, but about just doubling down on the investment with one product and really getting good at that. That I would say is something we've done. I mean, there are other companies, the companies that were already in our company, like UiPath, WorkFusion, we had literally everything under the sun. It was more about trying to focus on Automation Anywhere, and if we hit a roadblock that it can't solve, only then we should look at others. Roughly today, it's around $250K annually. I'd say 9, because if they're 10, then you stop, you kind of sit back and relax. I think to really get 10, there's some small tweaks to be done, and I think the company is going in the right direction. It just needs more focused attention on certain small gaps, and they'll get there. So I would say there are just a couple. The openness of the solution, more APIs that are exposed to allow people to integrate, because there might be products that are really good at voice, like Google Home, Alexa. How do you make it much more easier to integrate back with this technology? I think more on predict, which means as I have 1,000 bots in production, how do I make sure that I can predict which are the bots that might be at risk to fail? So that really helps them supporting these large-scale programs. I would say those are the couple of areas. I would say get started with this one. Think of the structure of, because using a technology is hardly the problem. It's more on the governance around how to use it and how do you maximize the benefits you get. It would be really getting your hands dirty and trying it on small POCs. That's how we started. We started with just POCs, sold the idea so much to different folks that they came to us versus we going to people, right? So that's the thing, the key.